Welcome to the Tiger's Den. I am Toothless Tiger, and this is the voice of Cheryl. And today on Let's Give Them Something to Talk About, I was told when I left on Sunday that you in the chat were asking for questions and answers. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do questions and answers. You can ask me a question and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. As we all know, I am not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an attorney. I don't practice law. I've just lived 63 years and I read a lot and I share my journey of wanting to know who were we before we were slaves with you guys. And that's what I'm here for. I want to first thank everybody who has joined my page. I hope you haven't felt too neglected. I have not made another video for you guys to let you know what we can expect. I had asked everybody that has joined to give me a date in an email on what they thought was a good day that I can do one day a month so that we can have, that members only time together. And not many people suggested, and I got a couple of suggestions for Saturdays, and I thought that was a good day, Saturdays. And so maybe if you guys could maybe give me a time, you could put it in the chat. If you want to do 7 Central Standard, if you want to do another time, which 7 Central Standard, of course, is 8 o'clock Eastern and 5 o'clock on the West Coast. So it's you guys' choice. We want to do this together, and then we can, just have members only. I just want to do something special for you guys. A lot has happened since Sunday. My channel is not a beefing channel. I do my best to stay out of that kind of stuff. I came on here to uplift fallen humanity, mainly our people, to kind of give you some keys to start searching if you ever wondered who were we before we were slaves. And so I don't really talk about issues and beefs unless it directly affects me, and then I address it because no one can tell my story. I won't allow no one to tell my story. I tell my own story. And then, individuals can believe what they like. I don't believe in the tit for tat. Don't want to do that. And, I don't mind you guys asking me whatever question you have. But again, I'm not about the craziness, nor will I ever be about the craziness. I really want this to be a fun place where it has been since I, started getting individuals. I want to say salute to everybody that is here. Let me shout out my beautiful members, and I will shout out everybody that's here. Cam T, salute. Real Chase Bank, salute. And I'm just shouting out the members, but everybody's important, and I'm going to shout out everybody. I just want to get them first. Lazy Bones, salute. Meaty Riley, salute. Courtney, salute. I'm going up, y'all. And now Maria S times 3, salute. Now let me start with LL Smiles, my number 1 fan, salute. DC Block, salute. Ryan Rhodes, salute. Tanya G, salute. FRW, salute. Wilma Flagstaff, salute. Brian Black, salute. Got to make sure I got everybody. Ryan Rhodes, salute. Cookies World, Tarot, salute. Cookie, you've been putting out some beautiful content, and I greatly appreciate it because a lot of it has resonated with me. So keep doing your thing because we really need it in this community. Appreciate you so very much. Carolyn Jones, I thought I saw you. Salute. Okay, now, Nathai, you told me how to pronounce that, and I thought I had it down packed. I think I might have messed it up, but I'm going to get it right. You can believe that. I want to say, Chase, I really loved the video you did for your moderators and your chat. It was absolutely beautiful. And, it gave me an idea to do that as well. It was so humbling to me, and I greatly appreciate that. You guys, I am not a computer person. I really hate it, and I don't play games. But you guys have supported me so. And Stone got me started looking at the games because, it doesn't really look like a game. And then, the way he tells the story, it's so funny. So I would definitely be coming to support you guys. And I may not stay long, but do know that I will look at the video. I'm going to always support, like, and even find someone to share. Because that's what it's all about. It's about us building one another up, in my opinion, and not tearing each other down. It used to be fun when I came on the internet, and going to the different chats is not so fun as much. And for that, I'm saddened. But I'm going to stay my course and continue to do what I came here to do. And I hope that you all will continue to keep coming back, even join the channel. If you would, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I would greatly appreciate that. Again, I was told on Sunday that you guys wanted question and answer. And so I'm here. If anybody, perhaps want to come up and say something, because we're only here for an hour on Tuesdays. I normally interview individuals, but after I got that request, I decided to just do this for us since it was requested, and answer your questions, or if you want to tell me something, whatever the situation may be. I thought that we would do that today. And like I said, that was in lieu of all of the craziness that's going on now. There is something that I did want to share with us as a people, and it's basically just about, let me see if I can find it. I had it here on the computer, but I don't see it. I just had gotten the definition of conspiracy. I think a lot of people don't really understand what's going on. And a lot of people complain and do a lot of talking. I'm not a talking or a complaining person. Salute, awesome powers. Monique here, my beautiful nieces and nephews. AG the Great, salute. A lot of people do a lot of complaining and a lot of talking. A lot of this stuff that we say that we're encountering and we don't want to encounter, there are proper procedures in which to handle this stuff. And it's called, making a complaint if you have an issue. We don't have to make everything where we're arguing and fussing and fighting with one another and don't enjoy going in each other's chats anymore. We don't have to do that. We can follow the proper protocol, because to every corporation, there are policies and procedures, and there is a protocol in which to make things happen. AG the Great says conspiracies are real, very real. They confuse us by changing its meaning. That's so very true. Reggie Reg, salute. I haven't seen or heard from you in a long time. Illegal to society, salute. That's so very true. And, what we don't understand is the people who gave us conspiracy theories, they're also people that mainly carry out the conspiracies. Salute Chase Bank for that sticker, $2 sticker. And you know me, I have to show off my beautiful new Matt K did that. I don't know if anybody need anything like that, but Matt K did that especially for me, and I greatly appreciate that. No one can duplicate that. Toothless Tiger. Ryan Rhodes said, isn't it crazy how conspiracy can bury you, but they also use it to dispel any research into a subject? Yes, Ryan, that's so very true. And it's unfortunate that it's like that. That's why, I decided to come on and share my experience of research, because it's so much that they didn't teach us. And as a people, we are very passionate people. We're very loving people, very caring people, very giving people. And most people don't believe that that's true because of the conditions in which we live. But if you put an animal in a cage, then eventually, and if you don't let the animal out, and if you don't, nurture the animal, and if you don't water, like give the animal water, then what's going to happen is the animal is going to become in a state of being that all they want to do is fight their way out. And some of them will even try to bite their way out. So once you understand that that's really how it works, and how we have been so removed from nature and who we are, then you can understand that what's happening to us today is no longer a theory. It is a conspiracy, but it's in operation. And we help, perpetuate what's going on because of our lack of knowledge. And it is written that my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And a lot of people didn't read that scripture, but we have to seek knowledge, because there was a time that we were not allowed to read. And then when we were allowed to read, they gave us the book that we could read. And the things that we need to know to help make us be adults in a society and function as adults, we were not taught in the schools. We were given what they call docility training, which is training for animals. And I call it animal husbandry. And when you look at us as a people, we tend to have the follow the leader mentality, as opposed to using our own train of thought. A lot of times we say that we do use our own train of thought, but honestly, most of us, we don't. We think and we do and we say something that someone else told us. We don't use, we're kind of afraid of our own thoughts. We're kind of afraid that, people won't like us if I tell them who I really am. They really won't like me. But if you can't be you, then you're really not living. And one thing I know about the common law says, if I don't harm you and you don't harm me, then no harm is done. And many people think that they can say what they want to say to you when they want to say it, and it's okay. But it's not, because words are very important. Words have meaning. And it is also written that the power of life and death is in the tongue. You can literally kill the very spirit of a person. And spirit means breath. You can take someone's breath away with your words. It's just according to how you use them and the words that you use. Jerry Spears. And he asked the question, or she, do y'all think it is a conspiracy that Trump's home was raided by the FBI? My answer is no. Salute, Naney, for the super sticker. Let me put some respect on that. Thank you. Okay. And the reason I say no is because if you understood the politics of the land, which most of us don't, then you would understand what's going on in our system. A lot of people have an opinion of Donald Trump, and mine is much different than most. Um, Donald Trump is a businessman, and the systems that we know or we knew are dismantling. And all presidents, whether we know it or not, are selected, they're not elected. And when we participate in the voting process, we're voting for the same bird. There is a left wing and there is a right wing. And so when you realize that both of them attach to one bird, then are they really in opposition? Or is this the game of life on a chessboard? We don't know to ask ourselves these questions because we're not really taught politics. And if we don't know politics, then we don't know what runs this world. And so we deal out of our emotions because that's all they gave us was our emotions. And it doesn't matter what degree of education that you have because you're only going to be taught in the subject matter in which they want you to be taught. And if you don't have the mindset to go outside of what you know, and you don't, if you don't have the mindset to go outside of what you know, then you're going to be very brilliant in the subject that you know. But what about the subjects that you don't know, like economics and finance, like law, jurisprudence, which is a science, arithmetic, mathematics, sciences? You know, we may know how to count. We may know how to add and subtract. That's about as good as I get. But I'll tell you, in all honesty, if you don't know the science of how something works, you will find yourself in a situation that you think is right for you, but it just might not be right for you. Salute, Boss Cap One. Salute, Miss Pittsburgh. I see someone saluted you. The Secretary of Common Sense, salute. I really thank all of you guys for coming. My beautiful niece, So I Be Loved, salute. Illegal to Society. I think I called you and Carolyn out. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone. But I really want to thank you guys for coming and paying some attention to what I have to say. Salute, Ernest. It means a lot to me. I do this stuff because I love it. And I really want us to get it. You know, I hear a lot of people say that, the Bible is just fulfilling itself. But if you wrote the book and you keep people in place to carry it out, then what do you expect? And if we look at how really is so much we don't know. A lot of things we assume is so. But it's like smoke and mirrors. It's not. It's not what it appears to be. And they show us a lot in the movies. Like Born Identity. That's a real good movie. And I promise you, Jason Bourne is the one who woke me up to a lot of things. My son has started talking to me about the different things he was learning because he went to college. And he was learning different things about different philosophies and religion. And of course, as a devout Christian woman, I couldn't have him coming home talking about anything outside of what I had been taught, and that's, God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And when he would try to talk to me, I would all but cuss him out because I didn't want to hear none of that. If it wasn't this way, then it ain't no way. And then he started telling me about some of the scholars, and I started watching them. And they all seemed to tell us a bit of our history, but they didn't tell me something that convinced me that it could be something different until I met the one that I like. And I met him only on YouTube. I've never met him in person or talked with him or anything like that. But Taj Tariq Bey. And he said two things that blew me away. And one was that they stole our identity, which was our birthright, and they traded places with us. That was eye-opening to me. That was my aha moment. That I learned. And so I started researching, and my son and I, we was thinking, well, maybe the problem is with the Constitution. And then I ran across the Christian Black codes. And if you look at the Christian Black codes, a lot of your municipalities, a lot of the laws that they use as ordinances and statutes, those very laws are the Christian Black codes. And then when you start researching and you learn that there are laws inside of laws, there are laws inside of laws. And then you wonder, why would they go to this length to have laws inside of laws, and the inside of laws apply to us and us only? Then you come to know that who you are is important, and you really do matter, because you're the heirs to the largest estate. And you go, what estate? I don't have an estate. But you were born into an estate. Born, birthed. It makes a difference, those two words. Born and birth. They make a difference. Look them up. You would be surprised. It's so many things that they play on words, and we don't catch it because we don't know that in law, the word may mean one thing. In your regular dictionary, it means another. And then when you go to the etymology dictionary, it gives you the origin of the word, and you see how they play on words. They, who is they, you say? They is a system that is in place. Well, I could call out names that they say are the families that run everything. Yeah. But it's a system that we're up against. It's a system that keeps us divided against one another. And we play the game very well of division. But the only way I can conquer a thing is to divide it. When you eat a cake, you don't eat the whole cake in one sitting. You divide the cake from itself. You cut it up in slices and pieces until you eat up the whole cake. It's the same way when you divide and conquer people and have them against one another. We're very sensitive, and we're very easy to get off focus. In a war, a lot of us haven't understood to this moment that soldiers move in silence. They don't tell every move that they make. You feel the effect of the soldier once they hit their target. Then we lose sight of the target. We go from one to another, and we're scattered, but we have to stay in one place. And you got to get your focus on one thing. And if you don't do that, then you're going to miss out. AG said, we are a democratic republic, not a true democracy. And both sides play devil's advocate when the camera's on and joke when they're off. And that's so true, AG, because there's really no such thing as a democratic republic, but that's what they call it. Because in 1861, the republic was overthrown. And the republic was entered into by our people and the Europeans. It was entered into for them to do commerce on our land. Chase said nobody on this planet was born with a Bible attached to them. So very true. And yet we will quit talking to each other based on what we heard that the Bible was about. We will quit talking to one another. That's why it's so very important to research and learn your history. And then, some people would say, well, how can you trust what you read? It's documented. And everything that's documented is not true. But one thing I learned about the oppressor, there is a principle that they live by. And they live by this principle because of fear. They don't live by whether I'm going to heaven or whether I'm going to hell. No, they live by the principle of karma because they know that it can be instantaneous. Whatever you put out is coming back. And that's what keeps them in line. Salute, Maria. Thank you. Salute, Miss Thompson. Peep game. Phyllis, glad you're here. I guess Mr. Skinny came through. I see Awesome Power said, Mr. Skinny. Ryan, I have to go toothless, but I will catch the replay. I want to say thank you for the gesture. We shared our traumatic experiences and you reached your hand to me. Thank you. Oh, you're so sweet, Ryan. You're so very welcome too. Yeah, the Secretary of State said, yes, they're both sides and more alike than different. Salute, Dark Star Menace. Miss Pittsburgh, I think I said salute because I seen somebody said something to you. Rashida 3 times. Salute. Awesome Powers, did I say salute to you? I know I talked to you, but did I say salute? Now, my producer told me that you guys wanted to ask questions and answers, but I don't see not one question. Okay, they don't move like they believe in karma. They really do. What they do is they have us believing everything we do is law, but actually a lot of things we do, we volunteer for. So they really do. And so, and what they do is when they get you to volunteer, then the karmic effects come back on you. They know exactly what they're doing. It's like I said, the war is not won on the battlefield. The war is run in the war room at the strategy table. It's strategy that gets you the results you want. Okay, Chase said, who do you think was the biggest disappointment in the scholar sector? Chase, I don't know a lot of them, but let me just tell you the ones that I used to look at. I used to look at Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Barashango, Khalid Muhammad. I looked at Dick Gregory. I looked at Dr. Umar Johnson. I looked at, of course, Taj Tariq Bey. I looked at Minister Farrakhan. I looked at Neely Fuller, who was an apprentice under Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. I looked at Dr. George DeGruy. And what I find is all of them pretty much disappointed me because none of them speak of our bloodline as being Moors from the ancient Moabite woman, not just the organization, the Moor science temples and things like that. The bloodline. It's our bloodline. And then they didn't tell us that they stole our identity and traded places. They would tell us so much, and then there's so many different stories. I looked at Dane Calloway. I looked at Bro Sanchez, and he was, with the flat earth, they're flat earthers. I looked at Blue Pill and Red Pill, KT, and so all of them kind of really disappointed me. The only one that I honestly heard that told me enough to wake me up was Taj Tariq Bey. That's the only one when he told us. And I don't know if y'all remember it or not, but whenever Donald Trump did give a speech, normally it was on what we call foreign land. He would always talk about the sovereignty of the people and their birthright, and they would do anything in their power to protect theirs. But the only story I knew about a birthright was the one that they told us about Esau and Jacob's. That's the only one I knew. I had no idea that we had a birthright. Let me see, Chase say, oh, and I did look at Pharaoh. I never really got into Brother Polite. Okay. I have to say, Brother Polite, very financially literate brother, but easily became a scammer once the money and the fame hit. Yeah, that is sad about him. I've seen a couple of his debates, and he was very, very, very intellectual. He had this stuff down to a science, and that's one of the things I don't like about the people in the conscious community. They call it the conscious community, but it's kind of really like the preying on community, because it's like they know that we have docility training for animals, and they know that we're hungry and we're searching for something better than what we have. We want somebody other than ourselves to give us an answer, because that's why we flock to the churches. And I see, the churches as spying centers, with the 501c3 status that they received from the government. And that status is by statute. Lyndon Baines Johnson gave them that after President Kennedy was assassinated. And he told them that don't worry about your leaders. Now he's talking to us, colored people. We'll pick your leaders for you. And they've all but picked our leaders. And the question becomes, how can they be our leaders when we have supposedly a president of a free world? Why don't we all share the same leader? That was questionable to me. Yeah, young Pharaoh he destroyed himself. I agree with that. And I think, power is the most powerful thing that you can have here in this earth, in my opinion. And power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And a lot of us, we think we're seeking money, but a lot of what's wrong with people today, people that we see, it's not the money, because we don't know money. Money is silver and gold. We know Federal Reserve notes, and that system is crumbling. And that was Donald Trump's assignment, was to dismantle the systems as we knew them. And whether we believe that they're dismantled or not, that something different is going on. Just the fact that these different big federal agencies, as we call them, federal agencies, are now operating from home. They're letting their people work at home. That's unheard of. Just 4 years ago. All right, let's go 10 years ago. That was unheard of. That someone as powerful as the Department of Treasury would be working from home in all positions. Cool Gamer, salute. Glad you're here. Young Pharaoh, I think that he was targeted. My brother was sharing with me that, this big meeting that they have, um, where they allow people to come and speak to the press, and it's a Republican deal. And they invited him to come because they really thought that he spoke their language, until he got there and started speaking. And well, he didn't get there, to be honest. They started looking at some of his speeches, and they crushed him by taking him down. They did not allow him to do it. And I think that kind of messed with him. I don't know if that's what it is that messed with him in the manner in which it did, but I think that kind of took him down. Mealy says, once you're on 501k, you cannot teach on certain topics. It is forbidden to speak truth. They will lose their benefits. That's true. It's the 501c. That is very true. That's why a lot of people, that's one of the reasons why Charleston White said that, he let his 501c3 go, because he did not realize that, he was just hearing about different ways you can do business. But yes, they dictate your because it's supposed to be separation of church and state, but there is no separation when you start studying and learn the truth. A lot of people won't believe this and they don't want to hear this, and it's okay. But we don't know the politics that run this country. But the politics that runs this country is based in what we call Christianity, but it's really the Constantinian order. And that's the order of the Council of Nicaea. And it even stems way before that, when the Pope, back in 1201, declared all humans his subject and himself to be God. And a lot of people don't realize it and don't know it, but in every state, in every major city, wherever your biggest Catholic church is, or the cardinal or whatever it is over that region, they have just as much power as the governor of your state. As a matter of fact, they have more. Because what we have to come to know is the United States, after 1861, when there was a coup d'etat and an overthrow of the government as we knew it, it's called the de jure government. And everything has been de facto ever since. And they don't want us teaching this truth. But this is true for all of us. They would say that we're going against the country. But if you think about it, just think about it. What is a country? If you look in the dictionary, a country and a state is one and the same. It's a territory. And if you look at the Constitution of the United States, it tells you in Article 3, diversity of citizenship, which means that you're a citizen of the state in which you live. And that means that state is a country unto itself. Why do you know that? Because each state has its own constitution. And you should familiarize yourself with your constitution of your state. You should familiarize yourself with the Christian black codes so that you can look at them and see how they parallel with the laws that we have today. A lot of people talk about the European woman. Well, the Casual Killing Act of 1669 was created for her because she used to beat our children to death because Master was having his way with us and impregnating us. And so she would beat our children that we had with our men. And they didn't want her arrested to even have to leave the porch. So they came up with what they call the Casual Killing Act that they claimed they abolished and got rid of. But we see it playing out every time someone get killed in custody, because the only thing that has to happen in that situation is if your, they call them slaves, resist you, then you can beat them unto death. So many of these men and women that we've seen get assassinated before our eyes had their hands behind their backs, they were in handcuffs, and the thing they say, that them people laying there stiff as a board, stop resisting, stop resisting. And you like, damn, how they resisting? They just laying there. And then the next thing you know, boop, 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 and it's over. A lot of things we do, I promise you, we acquiesce. In law, if something is against you, and if you don't rebut it, that means you acquiesce to it, means that you agree and it becomes true, whatever it is. I'm dealing with the situation right now in my own personal life. Let me see what AG says. And prisoners under U.S. law are considered slaves. They are. The 13th Amendment guaranteed that. The 13th Amendment said that there will never be slavery again except through voluntary servitude and you commit a crime. And see, we do a lot of things. We're all slaves, to be real honest, because we're under occupation. We're still under colonial occupation. And until we honestly start wanting to know, what is this system all about that I don't really know nothing about? Because what we think politics is, it is not. What we think it is not. Thank you, Meaty Riley. Thank you very much. You know, I'm going to do some Zoom type meetings, and I'll be teaching, and then we can talk really in depth, and we can have the documents and the proof, because it's nothing better than proof. Today they call them receipts. And any one of us, did you know that you could become a member of the Library of Congress from your living room or your bedroom or whichever room you're in? And if you don't want to become a member, all you have to do is, if it's something that you're interested in, something that you've heard about, all you have to do is get on your computer, pull up the Library of Congress, send the librarian a question, and within a couple of days, they will shoot you back that information free of charge. There was a law in Virginia, and it still holds true to this day. Whatever condition the mother is in, that's the condition of the child. So if the mother was a slave, then the child is a perpetual slave. See, we got too many of these laws that, go up against each other, and then we don't have anybody, not any of the really people that we have chosen to represent us in any forum, have ever got on this TV, and we know that they don't control the airwaves. That's why they're so hard on us on the internet, and that's why I'm so disappointed on how we as a people abuse our opportunity to educate and wake up our people. There is no way we should be on here fighting amongst ourselves and tearing each other down when we have so many of us hurting. And because you got that get up and go and can make it and hustle, everybody don't have that for whatever reason. I'm not making excuses, but we talk about grown folks, but we won't go and fuss with those Europeans because they don't see not one of us is grown. They call us minority. We are wards of the states, and it's called stateless person because we don't have a nationality that we claim. You can declare your nationality. You don't have to get a package. A lot of these organizations, such as the Moorish Science Temple, such as the other organizations in the conscious community, they always have papers that they can sell you, and they cost anywhere from $200 to $2,000, and yet you get treated the same. But it's not the paper that validates you. It's your knowledge of who you are, your customs, and your culture. And everybody want to tell us about Africa and Africa. This is Africa. It was known as Olamexum. That was one of the names original of Africa. This is the Empire of Morocco. But of course, we don't care about that because, that's that conspiracy stuff. And I don't want to talk about that. Ain't nothing I can do about that. I, too, was against everything that I was hearing. Boy, but when I got hungry, I've spent over $3,000 to $5,000 on books in the last 9 months. And I had a $5 book challenge. I just purchased 4 books this week. The USC 15, and that is the Fair Credit Act, the Debt Collections Act, and trading. Because remember, the European was allowed in our land for commerce. And whenever you see the flag and it has the yellow fringes around it, that's the commerce flag. It's some telltale signs they tell us, but because we don't know what we're looking at, we don't know what to look for. But like I said, Donald Trump, every time he went and spoke, he always talked about the birthright. And I'm like, damn, I ain't never heard no president say that before in my life. And the sovereignty of the people. And see, they try to put us with the European group, sovereign citizens. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. Sovereignty comes with your birth. It's innate. But we don't get unalienable rights. We get what they call civil rights. And when you say you're black and proud, black is a legal construct. And it's a legal status. And you're taking yourself out of the human family every time you say it. We've said these things for so long. I still slip up and say it. But I am aware of what I'm doing when I do it. And I try to catch myself and bring myself back in. So obviously the internet in itself has made it easy to connect and easy for anyone to say anything, good or bad. And that's the simple version. And that is so very true. That's so very true. The Secretary of Common Sense says this was all one big landmass. Yes, and it was known as Asia. Just look at the atlas. It's the perfect puzzle. And then they flipped it upside down. So really south is north and north is south. And then they price the map so high, we can't buy a map older than the ones that they have in this period of time. Hey, my nephew, BMK21. Oh, I had a cheesesteak the other day, and it wasn't quite like y'all's, but it was close to it. It was real good. It's somebody here, I don't know if they moved from Philly or what, but oh, it was so good. That's the best thing I remember about Philadelphia. But it's a lot of history in Philadelphia. Matter of fact, that used to be the capital, and it was known as Philadelphus. That's where Monteoka was, the one they called Pocahontas. I seen a map that cost $10,000 once, and it's out here on YouTube. And I thought I saved it in my favorites, but I have so many YouTubes until I don't know actually what I did with it. And I don't know the name of it. But, that lady said they got maps. Hey, riding dirty, I just saw your face. You're going up, and I just saw your eyes poking at me. But Their maps now are like $500,000. It's kind of like the Bible. They tell us that that's the good book and the best book there is, but they are priceless, and most of us can't even afford it. Some people used to steal them out of the, little hotel and motel rooms. Now, I don't know about motels, but in the hotels, now you can't even find a Bible in the rooms. Okay, awesome. You're so very welcome. I don't know who told my producer that they wanted questions and answers, but I really haven't heard no questions. Let me see what Secretary says. So true, when you learn to read a map, you are to turn it upside down. That is so true. Oh my, I tried to purchase a map, too expensive. Okay. Yeah, real Chase. Black is a color, not a race or an ethnicity. We all are human. It's only one race. And everybody that's human came from a woman that looked like me. Everybody. Let me put some respect on that. The thing used to run across my screen at the bottom and I could see what was going on. But for some reason it ain't running across the bottom no more. So let me do this. I want to remind everybody about the memberships, and if you would, please join. Find the level that you are comfortable with. I have $3.99, $9.99, and $24.99. It helps me to put back into my channel. And okay, that's so cute, Rashida. She says she's still listening. She's just working on some stuff. Salute, Moonlight. I don't know if I've already said salute or not. Let me see what Secretary said. We should keep and learn how to use and read a compass too. Yes, because that's what it's all about. The compass and the ruler. Imhotep. There is a video I would suggest that you guys read. It's called The Mind of Imhotep by Dr. Ray Hagen. He is a Pan-African minister, and he has the African village. I think he started in St. Louis, Missouri, but now I think he's somewhere in the Carolinas. I'm not quite sure. But he may have started there and then ended up in Missouri. But whichever one it is, it's very interesting, very interesting. Please, I hope everyone hit the like button. If you would, just go back and comment, even if you just put an emoji or whatever, but that helps us. It helps us tremendously for people to leave a comment, to share, to like, and certainly it helps us to subscribe. Let me see. Yeah, you like him too? Yeah, I like him too. And even he don't take us all the way. And that's what I'm saying. You see, I need them to take me all the way. They take us so far. And what people don't understand about masonry, and they love to try to talk bad about it, but what we have to understand that just like what goes up must come down, and just like the karmic effect of things, there's a light side and a dark side of everything. And people keep talking about the new world order, well, the world is constantly changing. Okay, so now you have to decide which side is going to rule, the light side or the dark side. The dark side has been ruling for a long time, but their time is up. And we have to come into the knowledge of who we are. The world already know who we are. We don't know who we are. Salute Allison Cooper, my beautiful niece. We don't know who we are. And they're getting tired of us. They really are. And then a lot of people think that, well, the Chinese is going to do this. Those two are our children. Every human being born of a woman. It takes us back to nativity. That's why really everything they do is based on water. All of the little metaphors that they use, I say this countless of times. I'm kind of like what you know of the Bible. You know, if you look at the four gospels, they all tell the same story from four different people's point of view. The scripture repeats things over and over because repetition strengthens and confirms. Faith comes naturally. I'm getting ready to wind this down because we're getting close to that hour. If you all have anything in particular you'd like for me to talk about on Sunday, you can give me a suggestion. You can even do it in the comments or you can send me an email. I had prepared some stuff to talk about the Federal Reserve Bank. When the Federal Reserve was, created, the people that created it, Blue Lodge Masonry is a part of the New World Order, not lodges like Prince Hall. Yeah, did you ever look at Manly Hall? Real Chase? I think that's his name, Manly Hall. He has a lot about Masonry. And a lot of stuff that we hear about that, is, if we only knew, if we would just start researching for ourselves, if we would just really start researching for ourselves. You're so right. Moonlight. And she's talking about a saw and a set and Horus that they call Heru. It looks like we're about to bring this hour to a close. I thank everybody who donated. Feel free to donate anytime. You don't have to be looking at me or listening to the sound of my voice. If you know my Cash App, you can donate at any time. I'm not begging for donations, but I am asking. I was taught you have not because you ask not. And then I was taught everything belonged to me if I manifested. This is a manifestation for me. I will continue to do this work and bring this truth as long as you guys will continue to come and listen. And if I end up out here by myself, I'll just sound like that crazy old lady that was over there talking to her damn self. But she sure don't mind getting on here talking. That's what I'll do. Because I think pain is what Todd says, and I agree 100%. It's going to motivate us as a people to be a better people to each other. We were taught to hate each other and compete against each other and make fun of each other. So that's what we know. But there is another way. A lot of people don't choose another way because they don't know they have another way to choose. But we're here to give them another way, to let them know that you don't have to get stuck in wherever you are. You can move past that. And that's what I'm here for, the duration, the long haul. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Again, consider, if you would, joining my membership. And on that note, let me see. Okay, FRW, I will. Annie, you said the dark side is winning. We must choose to be on the side of food, regardless of the score. It's a choice. Know your options. You're so very true. What Riding Dirty said, Annie, you said the dark side is winning. We must choose to be on the side of food, regardless of the score. It's a choice. Know your options. And that is so very true. Carolyn, thank you. Love you for your work Oh, Toothless Tiger. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you so very much. I will not get over what you did for me this past weekend. And Carolyn came up and met me this weekend, and she wanted to take me out to eat. And of course, I can't do too many things in the course of the day. My breathing is limited, and I'm not on oxygen. I breathe pretty good if I'm stationary, but if I get up and move around, then it's kind of rough on me. But she and her husband came, and they brought me and my sister dinner, and they went to my favorite restaurant, seafood, which is Papados, and they bought us a beautiful dinner, and they came and they just chat with us for a minute. Okay, basically what I was saying about the ships and the examples, and I can talk about that too on Sunday. That's kind of where you come in with your maritime law and your admiralty law. That all comes from the pirates, because we were the pirates. But of course, you know, in every movie that you see the pirates, they make the pirates the bad guys. No, the pirates were not the bad guys. Let me put some respect on that. Moonlight. Thank you so much. No, the pirates, the pirates were not the bad guys. At least not all of them. Now, some of them were bad guys. You know, some of them. That's how we got in the condition we in, because of some of us. As they have today, they have people in all places to divide and conquer. So some of them were bad. But if you notice, everything is based on a ship. And that's because we come from nativity. Nativity comes from your mother. It comes from, you know, how they have the Navy. The Navy is about what? Water and a vessel. Well, your mother, you have a navel button. We call it a belly button that attaches us to the mother when we're inside her body. And when we're inside her body, we're in a little bag of water. And that umbilical cord gives us the ability to breathe. Okay. So then once we're born, the water breaks and then the baby comes down, you know, how they come out. Okay. So we're considered vessels. Okay. That's why they came up with the birth certificate system, so they could register the vessel. And they registered the vessel. Okay, y'all. I'm sorry, but I got to put some respect on this. They registered the vessel, and anytime that you leave, let's say that you leave your home and go into any one of their buildings, you're now leaving the land and going into the sea. You're going into the sea. That's jurisdiction. You're not literally in the water anymore. You're going to a vessel that is at a dry dock, and you're going out of the law of the land into the law of maritime and admiralty. So once you're born, what they do is they put in an announcement in the paper. Normally, it's in a town, not where you live. The parents have 3 days to claim that life. And what they normally do is they prick the baby's feet and put the baby's feet print on the birth certificate. All places don't do that. Most places do. And they, prick it so that the blood shows. Okay. And then what they do is they will pronounce the baby dead. And all of us, when we were overthrown in 1492 at the Alhambra in Al Andalus, which they later start calling Spain, okay, they said that they conquered the Moors and all of their, women and children and heirs were buried at sea. And if you notice that any one of the terrorists that they claim that they captured and killed, we never get to see the funeral or anything because they always say they buried them at sea. Dr. Phil Valentine is good too. He's good. He's into metaphysics. He and Bobby Hemmett, they're more like metaphysical people. They're a little deep for me. I do believe in metaphysics, and I know that there's energy bodies that we were not taught about. So we have no clue. When we hear stuff about metaphysics, we start thinking we're going into La La Land. That cave, salute, I didn't see you come in. We get to going into La La Land and thinking they talking about demons and I don't believe in those kind of things anymore once I really understood what breath was, which is spirit, and breathing makes you spiritual. When you start understanding and that a lot of things that we were taught was to keep us subservient and to keep us from questioning. Because if you notice, everything pretty much in the New Testament, and it surrounds us, it surrounds spookism, and you're afraid to question anything. You think that something bad is going to happen to you. If you would look up in the law dictionary and look at hell, you will understand that hell is the executor chamber, which is where the Pope put everybody that didn't pay their tithes or their Roman tax. It's so much that we don't know, but you don't get rid of the Son book, which is the Holy Bible. Holy means son, Bible, biblios, book. You don't get rid of it because the facts that are there that are true are truly our knowledge. But again, anybody that's a member, I have the paper of the family that wrote the New Testament and the story of Jesus. And I'll be more than happy to send it to you along with the Black's Law Dictionary, along with the Secret Treaty of Verona, along with Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. All you have to do is send me an email. It's here at toothlesstiger7@gmail.com. And I'll be more than happy to send you that information. And you may not want to look at it today. You may not want to look at it tomorrow, but I guarantee you, one day you're going to be tired of some of the craziness that you see here, and you're going to pull out some and say, let me just go check something out here. And that's how I got started on my journey. With the ships, I used to wonder why everything ended with the ship, like relationship, friendship, courtship, anything you can think of that we put ship on. And that's because of who we are. Everything they do, they make fun of us, but we don't know it. They tell us in movies who we are. I don't know if y'all remember that story with Martin Lawrence about the Black Knight, and they called him the Moor. And in some of the Westerns, the older Westerns, they'll call them Blackamoor. And then Indians, there's no such thing as an Indian. Those are the people like, the Gully Geechees, us. They gave us different names. The people they say that we're from is Cherokee, Yananguia, but they call them Cherokee. They did all of that so that they can keep us from knowing who we are. And the story that they told us about coming across the river, no, we were already here. When we crossed the river was not an ocean. It was in a river. And we got permission to come over. We've been here for thousands of years. We are the Aboriginal people. The whole landmass is considered. They say that my grandmother and them are Blackfoot. I couldn't find nothing Blackfoot but a damn man named Blackfoot. But my cousin keep telling me Blackfoot, but I haven't found any information on Blackfoot. But we are the Aboriginals. I like Sis, and I haven't had a chance to speak with him, but he said that he could explain about how the colors and the textures changed. I know about the Albion, which is the European, the hybrid European, because we're all considered actually European. When you start really studying this stuff, nobody can be apart from us, even them, to some degree or more or less. But on that note, I don't want to keep you guys, and I'm going 11 minutes past the hour. I'm going to have a great guest next week. So far, she's getting her paperwork, but she made history for the state of Texas. And so she's waiting for her paperwork before she make that announcement. And I'm very happy to have her. She's a dear friend of mine, and she wrote a book. And it's a children's book on her grandchild, her first visit to prison to see her dad. Her son went to prison. And so she wrote about that experience coming from her grandchild's point of view. You can get that book on Amazon. Her name is Jackie Ragland, and it's on Amazon for $10. I just purchased the book. We got to learn all we can, y'all. We got to learn everything we can, and we don't have a lot of time to do it. Time waits for no man, and we can keep pretending that this stuff that we're seeing is entertainment. And I would venture to tell you that it's not. Some of it is funny as hell. Some of it is downright sad. And we got to do more. Thank you, Lazy Bone. So if you're not a member, please consider becoming a member. If you would, please consider becoming a member. And on that note, hit the like button, share, make a comment, and I'll see you Sunday. But right now, I'm leaving the tiger's den. Good night.
This video was made for education and entertainment purposes only. There's no malice or ill intent from the content creator. So please like, share, and subscribe, and have a great evening. Good night.